290 here to talk about a video blog I'm going to be starting. I meant to upload this last year, a few weeks ago, but I never got around to it. So this video blog I'm going to be talking about the Legend of Zelda 25th anniversary and the way I played the games and what year they came out. So let's get right into it. I'm a lifelong Zelda fan. I love any and all things Zelda. I'm a sucker for all that kind of stuff. So let's get right onto it. Alright, my first discoverance of Zelda was probably, I think I might have played it before, but Ocarina of Time was the first ever Zelda game I played, and I completely loved it. My friend Joseph went to his house all the time. We used to play that game over and over again. Then after we beat it, so many times, we got Game Shark and did all the cheats. The best cheat was the press L button to levitate. But anyways, let's start off with The Legend of Zelda. This game was released on February 22nd, 1986 in Japan, and it was released on August 22nd, 1987 in the US. And I didn't play this game until after Ocarina of Time, obviously. So 2000 something. I have it on the game on the 3DS. I have it on the. I played. I believe I played on Animal Crossing was the very first time, but okay, this game, when I first started playing it, I went back and played it because I loved Ocarina of Time, and I figured I should try out all these other games. So when I played this game, I played it with my brother-in-law, Josh, who played it when it originally came out, before guidebooks and everything, and he managed to beat the game. So we played it together, trying to figure out all the dungeons and everything, and I just had a blast playing that game. Me and him switched off playing it, and that game is just, without a guidebook, it's really hard to play it without knowing where to go. You can just wander around for hours. But with guides on the internet, it's actually a pretty decent game to play nowadays. But if you played that game in the past with no guides at all, that's takes a real gamer to do all that kind of stuff. Like Dark Souls. I think they're whatever. Anyways, the next game was Legend of Zelda: The Adventure of Link, which was the second Legend of Zelda game, which was released December 1st, I believe it, December 1st, 1988. This is all the US releases. So I played this game not much. I think I only got into playing the first dungeon because it's way different from all the other Legend of Zelda games. It's the second game in the series, so it wasn't like different yet, because there wasn't a whole lot of other games to base it off of. It's not a bad game, but one day I do want to get around to eventually beating and playing all the games in the Legend of Zelda series. This might be the last one that I tackle because its gameplay is so different. But it is challenging. But if you can really get into it, it is fun, and it is freaking hard. I never beat the original Legend of Zelda yet. I got to Dungeon 5, and I kept getting killed by the Dark Nuts. The third game is The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, which was the first Zelda game that actually had a lot of storytelling. The first two Zelda games, most of the story was in the manual itself, but this was the first Zelda game where the entire story was like in-game. You start off with a dream from, Zelda's talking to you, telling you where to go, saying she needs help, and then you find your uncle and he's like dying or passed out or something. He gives you a sword and shield and you go on an adventure. And it was Nintendo's first Zelda game that actually had really epic story. It wasn't just go around killing bad guys, finding Ganondorf. I played this game, I think, a little bit past the Dark World. This is one of the games I need to go back and play just because I want to beat all the Legend of Zelda games and eventually just beat all of them. The fourth game on here is Link's Awakening, which was, Link to the Past was released April 13th, 1992 in America. Link's Awakening was released August 1993, I believe, and I never played the original one. I played the Game Boy remake of Link to the Past on the Game Boy Color, and I haven't beaten this game yet. Another one I need to go back to. A lot of the older ones I need to go back to. But I do have it on the 3DS, and I do eventually plan on playing it all the way through, because my friend says that's his favorite Legend of Zelda game of all time, so. I do want to play all of them, so, I played all the way up to the first temple and whatever, and with Mario, with that guy who looks like Mario, and then there's Chain Chomp, Yoshi, and everything. And then, okay, Ocarina of Time, November 23rd, 1998. I don't remember if I played it in 1998. I probably did, but I do remember loving this game. I used to go over to all my friends' house who had it, play this game all the time. I've beaten it probably, at least 50 times. I play this game like at least once a year. We play it, and I played it on the 3DS, and I played it on the original. I played the Master Quest. I own every US release of this game, digital and non-digital. I'm just a huge lover of Ocarina of Time, which got me started in the whole Legend of Zelda series. This is my favorite Legend of Zelda game of all time. Then there's Majora's Mask. When that game came out, I was really excited to play it. I never got my hands on it myself. My friend had it, and I went over to his house. I borrowed it, brought it over, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna start playing this game. I put it in the console, and it wouldn't work. It wasn't until later I realized that that game came with an expansion pack for the N64. I didn't know I had to borrow that as well, so I had to go back the next day, get the expansion pack, and then play it. And then I started playing it, and I was like, this game is a little strange because you had to keep doing the 3-day cycle. So I never got around to beating Majora's Mask, but I want to. I do have a lot of copies of it on digital and non-digital, so I do want to play the Majora's Mask. But at the time, it was just too repetitive, and I didn't like the going back and having to get everything over again. So I put that game off. The next game is the Oracle of Ages. Oh, Majora's Mask was released on October 26, 2000. The Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons game was released May 14th, 2001. My first experience with this game was not a long one because my friend Joseph had these games. I went over to his house and he played them and beat them all the way through, but I never got the chance to borrow them because, I don't know, he really liked them a lot. So I only really got to play like a few minutes of them, but as far as I know, they play like a Link's Awakening, so with that. The next Zelda game is Four Swords Adventures, or not Four Swords, Four Swords, which was released on March 14th, 2003, which was just a little add-on extended multiplayer part of A Link to the Past. And it played just like A Link to the Past, only with 4 people, and it I never got to finish this game either, just because I never had the link cable and everything. But now that it's released on the 3DS, to by yourself or with friends, I will finish that game sometime soon. But I did have a blast with it when I did play with it with the link cable one time a few years ago. The next was Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, which was released on March 23rd, 2003. Now this game, everybody lost their mind about because the last console game we got was Majora's Mask, and then Wind Waker came out, and everyone was like, "The heck is this? This is a Zelda game? This is it was like all cartoony, and everybody freaked out about it. But after playing it, it is a really fun game, and my memory card got depleted halfway through, so I never finished that. So I do have to start that one over and finish it all over again. So I want to finish that one too. But it is a really fun game. It's probably the easiest Legend of Zelda game ever made. Alright, next is Four Swords Adventures, which was released on June. I don't remember if this was January or June. Whatever. I think it's June. June 7th, 2004. And I never got to beat this game because, again, my memory card was erased before I got to go all the way through it. So I started that game over and I'm playing through it. This game is not really that great by yourself, but it's much funner with the second person trying to compete against. If you can get 4 people to play this game, though, I think it's awesome. Minish Cap, which was released on January 10th, 2005. I love Minish Cap. I played that game all the way through one time. I want to play it through again, though, just because I forgot a lot about a lot of the story plots and everything to it, but I love the Gust Jar, the Rock's Cape, which allows you to do a double jump, the Sky Temple. It explains the origin of the Four Sword, which was called the Minish Sword. It explains the hero of men, and it explains, how Link got his cap and everything. That was a great game. Alright, this next one was released on November 19th, 2006. I got this game shortly after it came out. I went to get a Wii, and I paid for a Wii. I paid $500 online for my Wii. I do not regret that at all. because the Wii has been an amazing console and it's Nintendo. Nintendo, in my opinion, releases the best games. I buy Nintendo consoles for mainly Nintendo games. Um, anyways, I got that game and I played through it, a little slowly, but Twilight Princess, I was a little underwhelmed by the story because, I mean, I liked Midna and I liked the story, but Link's interaction with Zelda was kept to such a minimum that I couldn't enjoy the story as much as Ocarina of Time. Because Ocarina of Time has the traveling through time, picking up the Master Sword in video games and in movies, anime, TV shows. I love it when they do time traveling and when they do it right. I mean, I guess there's no right because I don't really know how it works, but in my opinion, right is, for instance, in Ocarina of Time, you go into the future and the windmill dude is all pissed off. He says, "This is the song that a boy played 7 years ago and messed up my windmill." Well, he teaches you that song for the first time in the future. Then you go back in the past and screw up his windmill. So the only reason that you knew the song to screw up his windmill was because he taught you it in the future when you back to the past. And in my opinion, even though it creates sort of a paradox and doesn't seem right, in my opinion, I mean, I guess there's two correct time travels to me. That way I just explained, and the split dimensions thing. So if you're gonna change something, it like creates an alternate, you know, future or past. But Twilight Princess, as far as gameplay, it was completely awesome, and I don't care that Link is really right-handed in the Wii version because the GameCube version he's left-handed. That's fine. In my opinion, Link is now, he's ambidextrous. But the dungeons, which is simply amazing in Twilight Princess, like Iron Boots plus Magnetic equals awesome. Walking on the walls and stuff, and the spinner add-on. Oh man, all the items, the double claw shot, that was just epic. It's like the hook shot but times two. That game has the best dungeons, some of the best items in the Zelda series. Next up, we got Phantom Hourglass, which was released on October 1st, 2007. A lot of people didn't like it because of its touch controls, but I liked it. Phantom Hourglass was a really fun game, and I enjoyed its travel system a lot better than I enjoyed Wind Waker's travel system, because you didn't have to sit there for what seemed like 15 minutes traveling to a different destination. You just draw a little line, and that's where you go. And I liked Phantom Hourglass, despite not having finished Wind Waker. Spirit Tracks. A lot of people didn't like this game as well, for the same reasons, and because Link drives a tank. Spirit Tracks was released on December 7th, 2009, and I loved Spirit Tracks side quests. Phantom Hourglass had that draw thing, and when I had to draw the Triforce, it took me forever to get it right. I don't know why it took me forever, because I felt like I was drawing the same thing. You had to do the lines a certain way. But Spirit Tracks had an even worse peeve of mine, which was the blowing into the flute type thingy. It never worked right for me. I would sit at a flute guy, before you can get the map to the next dungeon or wherever you have to play a duet with that guy. You'd blow into it, and you do it exactly how you thought it wanted to, and it didn't work. And then you do it right, you think you know how to do it for the next time, but then the next time it doesn't work, and it was just so frustrating. It made me want to throw my DS. And on that game, I got to the last temple, and then I had wanted me to draw like a line or something, and I didn't want to deal with that right now. And other games came out, so I'm stuck right there, but I will eventually get back to that game and finish it. And the last game here, which is the last of the Zelda, big titles, I don't count Tingles, Rosie Loopy Land, or the CDI games, Skyward Sword, which was released on November 20th, 2011, and I was really anticipating that game. When it was first showed a few years ago, I was like, it looks cool, I pretended to be happy, but sort of wasn't. But then as they released more stuff leading up to it, like the controls, when the game finally came out and I finally played it, the game blew me away. Its story was so epic, and I want to call it better than Ocarina of Time, but it's too early to do that. It wouldn't be fair to just discredit Ocarina of Time. I gotta wait till some time passes first. But the story was just so epic. Without getting into any spoilers, I don't know, some of this explains the whole origin of the series. Why everything is the way it is. It's just great. The swordplay was awesome. 1-to-1 is I don't want to go back. I tried playing Twilight Princess after I beat Skyward Sword, and I couldn't do it because Link's running, grabbing stuff, and the only part I didn't like was there was one quest that really annoyed me. Near the end of the game, you have to do these 3 quests to get a piece of a song, and one of them, the Water Dragon, you know what I'm talking about, really annoyed me because she was there and you felt like she should just give you the song, but she made you do this stupid thing for seemingly no reason. And besides that, the only thing that bothered me was the harp. The harp was easy to use, but it just lacked the ocarina type feel, where with Ocarina of Time you can just pick up an ocarina and start playing your favorite song just by memory, or whatever. The harp, you don't really memorize any songs, you just sort of go back and forth, in and out. The light, comes in and out. So that wasn't too great, and there was one side quest that involved the harp that really pissed me off. But besides that, Ocarina of Time has great gameplay, awesome story, and um, the second quest, which I haven't got into very much yet, is hard as shit just because all the enemies do ×2 damage to you, and man, I can't wait to get back and finish that game. But oh man, so that's my retrospective of the Zelda games that I've played. I do want to finish all of them eventually. But now I want to sit and talk about the official Zelda timeline that Nintendo released, which nobody expected it to be like this, and I really don't think anybody did. So, okay, let's talk about the timeline. The timeline goes Skyward Sword, which everybody knew, and then Minish Cap, then Four Swords, then Ocarina of Time, and then it splits. But not, it doesn't just split into 2 different directions, it actually splits into 3 different directions. First is the adult Link, where Zelda plays the Ocarina of Time and sends Link back into the past before, before he was so he can relive his childhood, which erased him from that time zone. And then the Wind Waker, the backstory is there was no Link to stop Ganon. So Wind Waker, Phantom Hourglass, and Spirit Tracks, and that's where it ends. The second timeline is the child timeline, where Zelda sends Link back, and he lives his childhood. He warns the kings of Ganon's, Ganon's evil plans, so they put him on trial. So that it's split into 2 different directions, where there was no Link in future timeline. Ganondorf came back, and there is a Link in this timeline before Ganondorf could take over and he warned the king and Zelda of Ganondorf's evil crimes. So they put him on trial. So he goes to Majora's Mask, and then Twilight Princess. It shows Ganondorf being on trial, being sealed in the Twilight Realm, and then Four Swords Adventures, which I haven't quite thought that one out yet, but I don't know. I guess it could fit. And then the third part of the timeline is the one that really leaves a lot of people scratching their head as to why I did it like this. But from what I've got from the translations of the Zelda Historia, which was released on the 21st of last month, which explains that, which is where Nintendo released their timeline, was that Link is defeated. And it didn't say he died. It said he was defeated. So that means I guess you played Ocarina of Time and you just lost. Is actually a possibility. So that could be Link maybe got lost in the water temple, or he never, saved all the sages. But anyways, that leads to A Link to the Past, which, the Imprisoning War, Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, and then he leaves on a boat, Link's Awakening, then the original Legend of Zelda, and the original Adventure of Link. Now, to be honest, it's hard to put the Legend of Zelda and the Adventure of Link anywhere on the timeline. I would have rather put it in the adult timeline, because they find a new Hyrule, and then they fight a new Ganon. Maybe Ganondorf and Ganon don't have to be the same person, but according to Nintendo, they are. So that's why Four Swords Adventure doesn't make sense to me, because Ganondorf is killed in Twilight Princess. So, I don't know. But I don't like the fact that Link is defeated. I would assume that he has to be defeated after he awakens the sages, because, they were the 7 wise men, even though only 2 of them are dudes, but whatever. It could be a legend. But the part that I don't like about that is that Link is defeated is an option. That would open up, every single Legend of Zelda game if Link loses. That creates another story option, If Link loses in Skyward Sword, then you can create a whole other, timeline based off of that. So I don't like that. What I would rather like is that if we can make this make sense without Link being defeated. maybe when he picks up the Master Sword that last time and goes into the feat scan, maybe when he picks that up, he creates an alternate future where he's not in it, and that's why, the imprisoning war happens because there's no Link to save the kingdom. So I like that a little better. Only there's problems with that though, is if he picks up the Master Sword and then disappears, there would be no Master Sword for a Link to the Past. But maybe he picks it up and then it resets or something like that because the gods, they need there to be a Master Sword. So I don't like him being defeated. I'd rather like it if it was just another split, like after he beats the Gerudo Desert and picks up the Master Sword the last time, he's not in that timeline anymore, and maybe that's why he's not there. But him being defeated is a little weird to me. So that's the official timeline and the way I think it works out. Um, the way Nintendo said it, and I'd rather have it be not defeated, just disappeared. But before I go, I want to talk about the future Legend of Zelda games. The 3DS is going to have another remake of Majora's Mask eventually. At least that's what Nintendo has said, which is awesome. I will play that, and that will be when I beat Majora's Mask, probably. Maybe I'll beat it before that. But before they did that, they also wanted to make a completely original Legend of Zelda game for the 3DS, which will be, they said, a 2D Zelda game, placed from top-down perspective, because that's what Miyamoto likes, which could play like a Link to the Past, because Miyamoto said he doesn't want to do a lot more remakes, but he said he would like to do a remake of Link to the Past, which would be cool. Then we have a Wii U's new Zelda, which when they showed it at E3, it was sort of just like a video of Twilight Princess, what it would look like in HD, which would be really cool. So they haven't said that that's what they're doing, but a remake of Twilight Princess would be cool. But then, if that's true, that's 3 possible remakes. Majora's Mask remake, which would be easy to do because they already have all the sprites from Ocarina of Time. A Link to the Past remake, and Twilight Princess remake, which is 3 remakes. And it would be cool to see all those, but maybe space them apart. Maybe have New Zelda remake, New Zelda remake, New Zelda. But I'd like to see a lot more Zelda on the on the Nintendo main console, because on the Wii we only really saw 2 Zelda titles: Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess. And Twilight Princess was also on GameCube, so we really only saw one title that was exclusive to the Wii. But I'd like to see more. The GameCube had Wind Waker, it had Master Quest, which was the first time it was released, but that was, essentially a remake of Ocarina of Time, or alternate time. And it had Four Swords Adventure. So that's 3 that you couldn't play on the GameCube, because you can't play Master Quest on the GameCube unless you live in Japan, I think. So that's 3 original, not completely original, but 2.5 original titles for the GameCube, and the Wii only had 2. In Link's Cross Train is just shorthand, doesn't count. So yeah, that's my retrospective of Legend of Zelda, and I hope you enjoyed watching. I plan to do more of these, so Pro Gamer out.